It's Orji time in Ann Arbor, Brant. Alex Orji's going to get his opportunity. As Davis Warren, unfortunately, just couldn't. He couldn't take advantage of the opportunity he was given, and he's been put in a tough situation. But unfortunately, you just can't throw 6 interceptions in 3 games, and especially 3 interceptions against Arkansas State. And people will say, "Well, let's remember." JJ threw 3 interceptions against Bowling Green last year. Yep, that's true. JJ also threw like 4 interceptions the entire season. So, those things are things that you can work out. And I guess what I want to know from you, Brant, as the keys get handed over to Alex Orji is, do you think Alex Orji will be the final starting quarterback for this season for the University of Michigan, or will we see Davis Warren again? Will we see Jack Tuttle? Where are you at with this whole thing?
There's a chance we see somebody else, but I'm not sold that it's going to be right away or anything. I think Orji's going to get his look, and my only hope, Dave, is that the offense is tailored for him. Make sure that we do things that suit him, what he does well. We know that he can run the ball, and let's scheme it up for him. One of the big things that I think that we haven't done yet, Dave, is try to utilize Khalil Mullings and Donovan Edwards at the same time. Maybe Donovan becomes more of a slot guy at this point. I think you and I both can agree Khalil needs more snaps. He needs to be on the field more. He needs to be in between the tackles more. And maybe that opens this offense up a little bit, and you find a way to utilize Donovan Edwards, especially with, we don't know Loveland's injury situation as of right now. The receivers haven't done a ton for us, Dave. And maybe that's, on Davis Warren a little bit. But I think the way that we get this offense moving a little bit more is find interesting ways to use Donovan Edwards, keep Khalil in between the tackles, and really utilize Orji's legs at this point in the season, Dave. And I'm really glad that Sherrone Moore came out and he said, Alex Orji is our starter. Our team's behind him completely. I think that does wonders for a kid's confidence going into this game against USC. And I think it's very important that he feels like he's got the back of the coaching staff. It's not some big secret and they're battling it out this week when it was all going to be BS anyway. I think that him getting the vote of the confidence going into this weekend and the game being at home is a huge in Michigan's favor.
Yeah, he gets the rep with the ones all week, and you're right. There's no questions about it. The team knows that Alex Orji will be the guy under center to start things off against a very good USC team. I have no idea what to expect. Anything, I guess I tread lightly when I say this. When I say anything can be better than what we've seen, because let's be honest, it could be a lot worse. To me, Brant, it felt like Sherrone Moore was looking for his safety blanket to start off his coaching career at Michigan. He was looking for his Jake Rudock like Jim Harbaugh had in year one. The difference is that Jake Rudock was a true game manager and could run that offense and not turn the ball over. Unfortunately, Davis Warren has not been able to take care of the football, and I think what landed him the job, from everything you heard from Sherrone Moore and this coaching staff, is that he was doing that in training camp, but it did not translate to the games. And that's not to say it can't in the future. Who knows? I mean, I tread lightly when I kind of throw Davis Warren in the past and he's the backup, because honestly, who knows? Like, do I think Alex Orji is the answer to Michigan's offensive woes? No. But do I think he can give the ceiling and the upside that this offense has with him under center is just significantly higher? The defense is going to have to plan differently for him. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how bad of a passer he is. We've seen some bad throws. We've also seen a couple of short little dink and ducks for touchdowns, and we know he can run the football. And so, yeah, they're going to have to they don't need to change their entire offense for Alex Orji, but they've got to definitely run some packages that are not predictable with him. And I love the idea of getting Mullings and Donovan Edwards out there together. And we just need some more creativity. And that's on this coaching staff, too. I don't know, Brand, is this Sherrone Moore's way of saying, like, yeah, and if so, I give him all the credit in the world to say, like, yeah, I'm not going to be the guy that's just like so strong-headed to say I'm not making a change. Davis Warren was our guy. We're going to stick this out. He's making a change. Is it the way of saying, like, maybe we made a mistake here, possibly. I mean, everything you heard out of Michigan football leading into this August was like Alex Orji was the guy, from the players on the team to the coaching staff. It sounded like Alex Orji was going to be the guy. And to me, everything that I've read and heard from the staff is that Davis Warren really took this job in the last 2 weeks of camp. It didn't translate to the games. The offense continues to struggle, but this team has got to be able to give their defense a break. Like, this defense has not been what we thought it would be, and the offense has done them no favors. They've got to be able to sustain some drives, and even if it doesn't end up in points, like, that's okay. But they've got to be able to stay on the field. And so, am I cautiously optimistic? Like, yeah, I have to be, because it's gonna look a little bit different than what we've seen the last 3 weeks. Like, I've seen enough of what that offense is to know, like, our ceiling with what we have seen is probably 8-4. I mean, I think 7-5 could be realistic, if I'm being honest. So I hope that this gives the team some juice, some electricity, some energy going into this game, because I haven't seen it. Call it the national championship hangover. Nick Saban said it best. Like, that's a real thing. This team needs to wake up, and they need some injection of life on both ends of the football. And maybe this is what they need. I don't know, but I hope so. Go ahead.
I want to disagree with you a little bit. I don't think the ceiling of this team is 8-4. I think the ceiling of this team is probably still 10-2. However, I think coming into the season, we thought.
Sorry, hold on. I just want to correct. See, I'm saying the ceiling, if they stick with Davis Warren and doing what they have been doing, the ceiling is 8-4. I just want to clarify that. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. Yeah. No, I think the ceiling. Then we can probably both agree that the ceiling is 10-2 still for this football team right now, with Alex Orji leading the way. And you talked about getting the defense off the field. The defense hasn't done itself any favors by getting off the field. And Dave, I want to touch on the defense quickly. The penalties that they've had recently, inexcusable. The giving up on third downs. I mean, Texas was obviously a nightmare with the third downs, but we also gave up third and longs to Arkansas State, like, multiple times. This defense, I think, has been feeding off the offense, and it's just been slumped shoulders and oh man, somebody busted a coverage again. It just seems like overall this team right now is looking for a leader. And I'm really hoping that dude is Alex Orji that walks in, and at least if the bare minimum is, hey, he's leading drives that are getting field goals, or he's leading drives that's flipping the field instead of giving teams short fields with interceptions. Like, that's going to be that's going to go a far ways for this defense to get confidence, because when you're turning the ball over in your own on your own 50, Dave, like, that takes all the defensive momentum away from you. So I think it's going to be very important that Alex Orji is able to extend drives, keep the ball, keep some possession, keep some time of possession in our favor, and really lead this team. So that's what I'm looking for this weekend.
Leadership is a huge piece of this. I'm glad you mentioned that. Everything I heard about Alex Orji this summer was that the team really sees him as a leader, like the way he carries himself, the way he conducts himself in meetings, the way he talks, the way he just works, man. Like, the team was behind him. So, like, if that's the injection of life that they need, let's see it. Because if I'm looking at the captains on this football team, Brant, like, Donovan Edwards, we know he hasn't had a great season. He's also not the most vocal guy always. He'll be the first to say that. Makari Page, he's had some ups, but a lot of downs as well. And Max Bredesen, I mean, take that for what it is in his position on this team. Another guy I don't see lighting anybody up or lighting a fire, on the sideline. And then your other captain is Rod Moore, who is really just a glorified coach right now as he's out with an injury. And so they don't have any leadership, at least from the eye test. That's what it looks like. The same, for what it looks like to me, it's almost like with the coaching staff as well. Like, I need Sherrone Moore right now to take a hold of this team and be the guy that he's always been and be true to his identity. He's not Jim Harbaugh. He's never going to be Jim Harbaugh, and we don't need him to be. Let him be Sherrone Moore. Sherrone Moore is a motivator. He is a player's coach. He is beyond competent and able to do this job. My last point, Brant, and then I'll let you finish up here. I'm not sold on Wink Martindale. I know that you and I have kind of gone back and forth on this and maybe disagreed to a certain extent, but I was listening to Joel Klatt's podcast today even, And this stat seemed crazy to me. I know we talked about all the Don Brown comparisons. Michigan ranked last year 48th with how many blitzes they ran each game. They are fourth in the country right now with what they're doing. It's not working. That is not what this defense has been these last few years that we've experienced all this success. And they better scheme up something good against USC. And yes, the offense has to do their part too. But this defense has so much untapped potential. I'm not entirely out on Wink Martindale, but I hope that he is not the strong-headed guy from the NFL that's like, nope, I'm just going to keep doing this. Like, dude needs to adjust too. Go ahead.
Yeah, David. I think a lot of that has to do with he's coming from the NFL. He looks at what he has in this Michigan defense and thinks we have better dudes than them. Well, you're right. It's just not working, whether it's the wrong gap or whether you're sending the wrong dude at the wrong time. It's definitely not working, and we need to see it work better. The last thing I'll finish up with, Dave, is you talked about the sidelines and the coaching staff and the players and all of it just seems like it's too friendly right now. Everybody just seems like they're each other's good friend and, hey, we're running it back. And isn't this awesome? Like, we're front runners. Cool. Nope. That stuff's got to go this weekend. This has got to be dog mentality. I want to see people up in each other's faces. I want to see somebody yell at somebody. Like, I will be fine with that. I need to see some fire from these dudes. And whether that's like Wink Martindale blowing up on somebody or Sherrone blowing up on somebody on the offense, lighting up the offensive line. I need to see some fire because I haven't seen it.
I agree. The season starts Saturday, Brant. It is truly they're turning the page. Big Ten play starts, and they want to go and repeat as Big Ten champions and have a sniff at the 12-team college football playoff. The season starts on Saturday, and Michigan absolutely has to get it done, and I need to see the fire just like you're talking about. Man, I just hope to God that they get this right because we know they can, man. The talent is there, but somebody's got to bring out the dog in them, and what we've seen the last few years is the Michigan identity.